Hey, welcome. Let's get right into it and talk about a huge idea. You don't have to just put up with your job. You can actually redesign it. For real. This isn't about just sucking it up. It's about you becoming the architect of your own work life. Does this sound familiar to you? You're just going through the motions every single day. The work is boring, you're not really going anywhere, and you just feel totally stuck. It's like you're on a treadmill that you can't get off of, right? And you start to think, well, this is it. There's nothing I can do. And look, that feeling is 100% normal. We've all been there. We get trapped in this mindset that our job is this thing that can't be changed, you know? Like it's just our lot in life. But what if that's just wrong? What if there's a completely different way to look at this whole thing? All right, so here's the game plan for how we're going to break this down. We're going to talk about that stuck feeling, then jump into how to think like a designer. After that, we'll build your inner compass, dodge some of those common career roadblocks, learn how to follow your energy, and finally put it all together so you can start designing your own life. Okay, first things first, we've got to learn to think like a designer. This is the big shift. This is where you stop being a character in someone else's play and you actually pick up the pen and start writing your own script.
So what the heck is design thinking? Well, at its core, it's all about solving problems creatively. Instead of getting overwhelmed by a big problem, a designer gets curious. They try things out. They run little experiments. The whole point isn't to find the one single perfect answer, but to just build your way forward, one step at a time. And trust me, applying this to your career is a total game changer.
And this, right here, shows the shift perfectly. On the left, you've got the victim mindset. Total powerlessness, right? But on the right, you have the designer mindset. Now look, the situation is exactly the same, but the approach, it's night and day. It's that crucial switch from saying I'm stuck to asking, okay, how can I redesign this thing? And this isn't some crazy, complicated theory. It really just boils down to these 4 simple steps. You start by getting curious, like what's really the issue here? Then you try small experiments. I'm not talking about quitting your job tomorrow, just little tests, little prototypes. You learn from them fast, and then you iterate. You make small tweaks as you go. This really gets to the heart of it. So many of us get stuck in what they call analysis paralysis, where we think and think and think, but never actually do anything. Design thinking just flips that on its head. It's all about having a bias toward action. You learn so much more by just doing something than you ever will by just sitting around thinking about it. Okay, so you've got this new designer mindset. Awesome, but where do you point it? Before you can design anything, you need to know which way is north. So it's time to build your inner compass. Now, your compass has 2 really important parts. Your work view, that's your whole philosophy on why you even work. Is it for the money, for a purpose, to express yourself? Then there's your life view, which is all about your core values, what makes your life feel meaningful. The real magic happens when these 2 are pointing in the same direction. So how do you figure out your work view? You've got to actually sit down and answer some tough questions. Why do I work? What does good work even mean to me, not to anybody else? Is it just for a paycheck or is it for something more? Look, there's no right answer here, but you absolutely have to know your answer if you want to build a life that's actually yours. The goal here is to get to a state they call coherence. That's when who you are on the inside and what you do on the outside are totally in sync. You're not putting on a mask for work. Your actions actually line up with your deepest beliefs. This, right here, is the foundation for real, lasting fulfillment. Okay, so you've got the designer mindset. You're building your compass, but what about all that junk in your head that pops up and tells you no? Let's talk about how to bust the myths that are keeping you stuck. First up, dysfunctional beliefs. These are basically the bogus stories we tell ourselves. They sound true, but they're really just walls that we've built around ourselves, limiting our options and keeping us from even trying. Here's a classic one. It's too late to change. Sound familiar? We've all said it. It feels so final, doesn't it? It's the kind of belief that just slams the door shut on a ton of awesome possibilities before you even get a chance to peek inside. But here's the tool you use to fight back. It's called the reframe. You take that bogus belief and you just flip the script. So instead of it's too late, you reframe it as it's never too late to use my experience in a totally new direction. See that? All of a sudden your past becomes an asset, not an anchor. This little shift in how you see things is incredibly powerful. All right, next roadblock, gravity problems. This idea is brilliant. These are the things in your work or your life that you just cannot change. They're a fact of reality. You can't change the fact that traffic sucks, and you probably can't change your boss's core personality. Trying to fight these things is like trying to fight gravity. It's a complete waste of your energy. So what do you do with a gravity problem? It's simple. You don't try to solve it, you accept it. You treat it like a fixed part of the landscape, and then you design a way to work around it. This frees up so much mental energy to focus on the things you actually can change. Now, for one of my absolute favorite parts, following your energy. This is all about dropping the idea that you need some perfect, color-coded 10-year plan. Instead, you're going to learn to navigate your career by following the clues that your own body and mind are giving you. It's a practice called wayfinding. Wayfinding is basically the art of figuring out where you're going when you don't actually have a map. So what are your street signs? Your energy and your engagement. You know those feelings of excitement and flow? Or the opposite, boredom and frustration? Well, guess what? They aren't just random feelings. They're critical data telling you whether you're on the right path or not. And here's a super practical way to start doing this, like today. It's called a good time journal. It is so simple. Every day, just jot down what you were doing when you felt energized and what you were doing when you felt totally drained. Over time, you'll start to see these really clear patterns emerge. You'll get actual data on what lights you up, and I'm telling you, the answers might really surprise you. Okay, let's pull all of this together and really talk about what it means to start designing your life. We've gone over the designer mindset, building that inner compass, smashing through roadblocks, and navigating by your energy. The one core message through all of this is about empowerment. It's that you are in the driver's seat. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? We so often treat our life like it's some kind of math problem that has only one right answer that we have to find. But it's not. It's a creative project. It's something you build, you shape, you tweak, and you design as you live it. So, I'll leave you with this question. Forget about trying to solve your entire life by next week. Just think like a designer. What is one small, low-stakes experiment you can try this week to learn something new or test out a new idea? That's it. That's where this whole journey begins.